Hey, good morning guys, Tush coming at you. It's Tuesday morning. Just coming up to about 11:45 on the 30th of August. Still waiting on that starter. I'm supposed to be back tomorrow, so in the meantime I've been sort of looking for stuff to do. I could probably play around with the TR6 a little bit. It does need a few little things, but nothing major. I think those things can wait until winter. I still want to drive that for the rest of this driving season. So I think what we've decided to do is we've got the air compressor charging up for a reason. We're going to attempt to start working back on the 59, which I have over here at the side of the house. And the 59 has a flat tire, so it'll be kind of hard pushing it with a flat tire. So I'm going to pump that baby up. So the plan is to get this out onto the driveway, and we'll get it uncovered, and we'll come up with a plan of action for this car. I know that last I left off, I was looking at repairing the two front fenders with some patch sections, but I needed to have the ability to have the body out and available for me to put the fenders on and do some measurement and fitment checks before I actually fully welded up the fenders. So that's the object of today, I think, is to get this thing uncovered, again tire pumped up with air, and we'll see if we can get it pushed out into the driveway, and we'll have a look at it once we get it there. Alright guys, we'll come back. Alright, we're going to revisit with the 59 a little bit. So good thing about them, they're nice and light, especially when they're missing quite a few parts. They're easy to push. So here's what we're starting with. And again, if you go back through my videos, pretty much every nut and bolt was rusted on this car and had to be cut off. So it's going to be a challenge to get all these bolts out, all the cage nuts replaced. Probably will be much metal left there once we do that, but we're up to the challenge on that. Obviously no sills, and if you recall, if you go back and look at my videos, there was actually a 2x4 in there with the wood screws screwed in. So, hole for the speaker. So it needs all new inner sills, outer sills, floors. I got some bulkhead patching there. I'll pop the hood off so we can see where we left off as far as the engine was concerned. So basically the chassis and the engine are done for this car, and that's about it. And the easy stuff. Some of the areas are better on this car than they were on my other car, on the 60. Like the A posts seem to be better, but this door doesn't close, so it's got a problem there. I know that the previous owner told me that the tire came off at one point and had an impact with the fender, and you'll see the crimp in the fender. And I think what happened is the fender came back and hit the A post and moved the door back. So, and I'm not sure if it bent the hinges, but the door doesn't close. So we'll have to get that sorted out. Hardtop came with this car, and I'm hoping to get that hardtop painted and put on the 60. I think it'll look pretty sharp on the 60 when the time comes. So, pretty rusty in the rear valence area. The trunk's not overly bad. It's got these corner sections which are always bad. This is where the body mounts are, and they come up through here. So those usually need to be replaced. Did that on the other car. No interior in this car. It was gutted by raccoons. So not much in here. Here's the original top and tonneau covers, but they smell so bad I just left them out here in the car. Didn't want them anywhere in the garage or in the house. So I'm not sure what's in that bin over there. I'd have to check that. Side screens will need to be rebuilt, but they're original to the car. So this car originally was black with, I think they called it fawn colored weather equipment, so soft top and side curtains and tonneau cover. So we're probably going to go back to the original black. You can actually see the black poking through down here on the bottom of this door. Anyway, so let me pop the my faux carbon fiber painted hood off, and we'll show you the engine bay just to refresh your memory. Alright, here's a shot with the bonnet off, and a little bit dirty from being outside for the past year, but nothing really much I can do about that. So like I said, engine and chassis are done. This one has the stock exhaust manifold on it and the stock SUs. See a piston sticking there, open. I went so far as to paint the original TR3 graphic on the side of the block. Original rad with the rad hole. We're going to hopefully run this from the hand crank one day. Original steering box. So it's good to see that again. I have been stealing some parts off of it. If you mentioned, or if you recall, I stole a fuel pump off this car. I actually popped the alternator out of, or not the alternator, the distributor out of this car as well. So, anyway, I think it's about time to get back to it. We'll come back. So there's where I have all the panels stored for the 59 up there, and I'm a little bit leery about trying to take stuff down with this being right here. I don't really want to take it off jack stands until I get the starter back tomorrow, so I'm thinking I might be just safer to leave that up there until I can actually move this car out of the way, just in case I have some sort of an accident. I don't want those panels crashing down on this car, or this car for that matter. So I think I'm going to wait and pull this 60 TR3 out before I attempt to take those panels down. So the 59, we'll have to wait for another day to play with. Well, I figure I might try to be somewhat productive in the meantime. So we're going to start to strip this rear passenger side quarter. Now I think looks like there's undercoating on there. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to get the undercoating off of the heat gun and scraper. And then we've got a 36 grit flat disc on an angle grinder, and then we've got an 80 grit on a DA. So that's what the plan is. So there's the before shot. I don't know how far we'll get. It's a little warm outside today, but I'm kind of in the shade where I'm at. So we'll just shut this garage door, we'll crank the tunes, and we'll have at it. We'll come back. Okay, so we spent about a half an hour on it already, and it's looking a little better. And I'm just glad I've done another one of these previously, because I recall on the previous one that I did, I had a major problem back in this area, and I really didn't know what it was supposed to look like. So at least I have the advantage now of knowing what it's supposed to look like when it's you know, done the right way. So I got a big hole here in the tail light nacelle, and of course this flange here is all shot. So I think what we're going to go ahead and do is we're just going to remove this plate. These are available to purchase new. I actually replaced them on the 60. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to drill the spot welds out of this, and we're going to remove this plate right away and be done with it. Alright guys, 5 o'clock Tuesday afternoon. Just went and picked my starters up. They look good. So maybe we'll play around and try to install one tonight. Alright, got to cover up the 59. Well, it looks like we might be in for a bit of a thunderstorm tonight. Starting to get pretty darn windy out here, and looking a little dark. Anyway, I hope it cools things off in the garage a little bit. We're going to attempt to put the starter back in. And this will definitely be a test of patience. So, like I said, we're going to attempt it. We'll see how my patience is tonight. I know this is going to be a difficult job to do, so I'm not looking forward to it. But no time like the present, I guess. So we'll give it a shot. We may end up going in early, but we'll give it a shot. We're going to try to do it solo. Like I said, it'd probably be a good idea if I had Crazy Les here to give me a hand, just to maybe hold the starter while I put the bolts in down below the car. But we'll see if we can do it ourselves before we bother someone else. Alright guys, we'll come back. Alright, my patience has worn out for the evening. Have managed to get the bottom bolt in, and I've managed to get the nut started on the top bolt. Now, I did that without a lock washer, which I should have on there, but it's next to impossible to get a lock washer on without it falling off and then trying to get the bolt threaded through the nut. So the only problem is I think I need the lock washer because it's a shank bolt, and I think I might bottom the nut before it tightens the starter. So even though I got it threaded on there, I might actually have to pull it back out if it doesn't snug down. So that's the end of my patience for this evening. So it's hard to get a wrench on the back of the nut anyway to keep it from spinning, and that's my challenge for tonight. So I think I've tried for about an hour or so, and it's time for me to give up and go in and get ready for work tomorrow. Alright guys, maybe I'll upload this and we'll get back out here tomorrow hopefully. Talk to you later.